Okay, now here's one of our exercises that follows up after we've done trigger point release and or mobility drills for the thoracic spine, especially. And this really helps to do several things. Really, it helps you to sort of like learn how to use your scapula correctly, so that it doesn't do dysfunctional things sticking out the back, like a wing scapula or such, or not moving enough to fan out and let the arm rise up about above the head without it pinching the top of the shoulder. And it starts to encourage the weaker muscles of the lower trapezius and the serratus anterior, which you would have heard me talk about hundreds and hundreds of times. These are very difficult muscles to strengthen, and they're very much like the glutes in the lower body, can become quite lazy and weak, and then you end up using a whole set of muscles that you don't want to use, and they'll become really tonic and tight, and you'll forever be getting massages, but it won't be working, because the minute you leave the massage it just comes back to the way it was. So this is a drill that teaches you how to use the muscles and the mechanics of the shoulder, and how they all tie in together to give you a good movement. And then after that you can come in and start to learn the strengthening process, because the mechanics are there. Right, so there's two of these drills that we're going to show you. The first one is more for lower trapezius, the second one more for serratus anterior. Now the first thing that Nathan's got is his arms on the wall like a plank as such, and we've got him set up in a V angle. So he's basically going to be trying to sort of come out in an angle like that. That sort of the reason for that is that the lower trapezius, which is down here, the muscle fibers sort of run in this direction, so it encourages them to work better. Alright, so let's have a look how he does it. So basically just slides his arms up the wall, and then his hands will gently lift off to give him that nice little posterior tilt of the scapula there, but he's not forcing anything. Really understand, you don't want to force anything. Alright, so he's just letting it work on its own, and then he comes down nice and slowly, making sure he doesn't dive into that forward tilt. Now when he comes, if I just take that back a second, when he comes up, we're looking for the scapulas there. As his arm rises, so it comes up, we're looking for the scapula to sort of move out. Alright, so we're sort of giving him a cue and instruction that we want the scapula to move out and about. This is where the muscles in deep in here can really pull it down, and that's where the trigger points will lie. So if you've seen our other videos, the trigger points, or even the lats here, they'll restrict him from lifting his arm up. They'll be pulling him down. So we don't want this one pulling in, we don't want that one pulling down. And we're trying to get the serratus anterior and the lower trapezius to guide him on the way to lift his arms up. Right, so as he comes up, and then he's in that nice posture where his arms will just gently roll off the wall into that position. And the other critical factor is here, got to make sure his belly button stays in tight, so he's not trying to arch through the lower back. That's the common cheating thing we'll see. That gives people the illusion of having good extension when it's not really there. Alright, now the second part of this is, and there's just one more time so you can sort of see it from the side. Alright, now the second part is when we'll use the foam roller, and this is where, now the foam roller sort of changes things a bit, because he's going to have to push into it to keep it up against the wall so it doesn't slide off the wall. So it now brings in like a pushing action. Alright, so it's like a shoulder press but with no load. Alright, now the beauty of the pushing action is it encourages the serratus anterior to activate, and that's where we'll see a nice flat border across here where the wing scapula sticks out, and like as the name suggests, little wings. Alright, so now he almost does the same thing. He just wants to gently slide the roller up the wall, keeping pressure on the roller so it doesn't fall to the ground. And again, that's where we see the scapula coming out. We're sort of giving the cue of fanning, like it sort of comes out like a there's the scapula there. We want it sort of to fan out and around. All right, where a lot of people it'll just stick up or it won't move at all. It will just be very sort of stiff and rigid. All right, so this is a great drill to use after the trigger point release, where we've given him the extra mobility. Now he's trying to learn how to get stability and the optimal moving mechanics so that he doesn't go back into the way he was before. That's why trigger point tools don't change this, because they don't teach you how to move. You may have the new found mobility, but you don't know how to use it, so you just go back to the old way. Alright, so this is a very handy drill that you can use to follow up with that, and yeah, and it's a very, very, it takes a lot of time, it takes a bit of patience to get used to it, but with the right cueing and awareness of your body, again making sure you don't arch your back too much, so you have to be aware of that. You can get some great results from using this, and it sets the scene for the strength exercises to come in afterwards, because now you've got mobility and stability. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that video. We'll see you on our next one.